Okay, folks, well done for sticking with it. We're on video number 6, and we're starting to look at how we can represent genotypes and show what happens when two organisms reproduce. So the important thing about these diagrams here that are called Punnett squares is that they are showing the possible offspring that two individuals could produce, and they're not showing you that they're going to have 4 children every time. So if we think of these mice, we have some mice that are brown, their phenotype is brown fur, and the genotype, the genetic code for that is little b, little b. We can say that the brown mice are homozygous recessive because it's a lowercase letter b. The black mice, their phenotype is black fur. Because black fur is dominant, they could be 2 possible genotypes and have black fur. They could have 2 copies of the black fur allele and be homozygous dominant, or they could just have 1 copy of that black fur gene and still be black, because the black fur allele always shows itself because it's dominant. So black mice can be homozygous dominant or heterozygous, whereas brown mice, because brown fur is recessive, would only be brown if they are homozygous recessive. So the brown mouse has to be little b, little b. The black mouse could be big B, or big B, little b. So if we crossed a brown mouse with a black mouse, and the black mouse was homozygous dominant, 100% of the offspring would have black fur. Every single baby mouse that this cross produces will have black fur. Whereas if the brown mouse, homozygous recessive, was bred with a heterozygous black mouse, then the offspring would have a 50% chance of being heterozygous and therefore have a phenotype of black fur, and a 50% chance of having homozygous recessive genotype and being brown. Now, there's a question here for you to try drawing a Punnett square. I suggest you pause the video, read the question carefully. It's asking you to draw a Punnett square for 2 people who are heterozygous for dangly earlobes. So press pause now, have a go at drawing that Punnett square, and I'll reveal the answer shortly. Okay, well done if you actually paused and tested yourself there. Okay, it's a real skill to be able to test yourself, make sure you can do a task, really prove to yourself that you can do it. So you can see here in this Punnett square, we've got the parents who are heterozygous. Whoops, so their genotype is capital A, small a. Here's the other parent up here. We've paired up the alleles correctly, and we've identified that there's a 25% or 1 in 4 chance that their offspring could inherit 2 copies of the recessive allele and have earlobes that attach straight to their body, whereas there's a 75% chance of the offspring getting at least 1 copy of the dominant allele for dangly earlobes, so 75% chance of their offspring would have dangly earlobes. Now remember, every time this couple make a baby, this is the chance of these characteristics being inherited. So they might have 2 children who both have dangly earlobes, but it's always this possibility every time a sperm and an egg fertilize.